Where the heavens? I don't even know. Here we are. Hello, friends, chat. How are you? We are back, and we are having our fingers very firmly crossed. We're invoking Manice that we won't have any technical difficulties today. As you can see, I am in a different room, back in the room that I streamed from this past spring, or I guess fall if you're in the Southern Hemisphere like I am. And yeah, so hopefully the internet will be good to us. Hopefully the heat will be good to us because, woof, it is a hot one. And I've got a fan on very, very lightly to prevent, interfering with the audio and stuff like that. But, well, your friend Colin's gonna schwitz through it. Okay. So, let's see. What is on the agenda for today? Again, Nice, bless us. Nice kam. We are going to be working on some valency stuff for Pkwak. So we haven't done a ton of morphosyntax on the stream compared to phonology at least, and I think it's time to rectify that a little bit. So we are going to sort of brainstorm and develop the valency stuff we have going for Pkwak already. We have some very sketchy stuff. We're going to make it a bit more formal, and hopefully this is going to help us teach people Pkwak, because that's the ultimate goal here is to make this into a fun language that we can use to introduce people to our little shared world and into the idea of, well, if they're not familiar with conlanging, into the idea of conlanging. If they're not familiar with learning languages, this could be a kind of a nice training wheel situation for them. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully we can, we can soldier on through it. Okay, and apologies for the weird angle. I don't have my tripods and everything. Oh, I missed them. All right, so I think let me just check in with the Lucy and with the chat to see how we're doing in terms of technical stuff. Woo. All right, so we just had the thing where all of the text, all the chat shows up at once. Welcome back to all the people who are joining us for the first time in a while. Jack, Raven. I see lots of Logan, welcome. Yeah, this buffered chat thing, this seems to be not, it wasn't me. I don't know what's going on there. We've got some Pkwaks going on in the background, as you can likely hear. If I close the window, I think I would literally die. Very, very hot here in the middle of summer. But we are not here to complain. We are here to Conlang. So let's do a little intro to YouTube before we tempt fate by talking for too long. And I will come over here and look at the camera and say, hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the stream. Today we are working on valency. We are working on valency in Pkwak. This means we're going to be looking at things like passives. We're going to be looking at things like transitivity, reflexives, reciprocals, things like that. So it should be fun if you're into that sort of thing, which if you're here, I presume you're at least susceptible. So I think without further ado, let's jump into the side webcam and take a look at what we have. So here we are looking at a document called A Teaching Grammar of Pkwak. And this is basically our scratch pad for all the stuff that we've decided so far. Looks like the chat just, you know what I think of it like? Yeah, I'm just going to go full screen to wax poetic. It's like we have a donkey that brings all the messages every few minutes or so, and the donkey just comes in and dumps all the messages and says, here's some stuff that happened in the past few minutes in chat. So, you know, when I think of it that way, I can't really be too upset about it because the donkey is doing its best. Okay, that's my rationalization of the situation. Back to the dock. Yeah, Galactic Sand, 2 monitors. This really, really helps. Right. All right. So, let us continue. So, I'm going to go over the decisions that were made over the past few weeks. This is a bunch of us got together, the sort of Pkwak special interest group, and we made some decisions about grammar and such things. So I'll introduce what we've decided on before we move on. So the first thing we have done is to come up with some basic phrases. This is going to help us make our Teach Yourself Pkwak series. We have greetings, miskam, hello, kaunran, welcome, kambrung, thank you, literally big blessings, naranbrung, also thank you, or you can just say brung for thank you. I'm used to looking up here for the camera. Gotta train myself over here. We have ways of introducing yourself. Lots of different alternatives here. How to say that you speak Pkwak. Basic greetings. So this stuff is going to form the introductory material in the Teach Yourself Pkwak course, which we are working on. So that's kind of, to a certain extent, self-explanatory. I'm waiting for the little donkey to deliver the messages from the chat so I can see some more. There they are. Thanks, donkey. I'm seeing in the chat some questions. 77, etc. Sorry, it's a bit small for me to read. Yeah, some stuff is happening off stream because we have been having trouble with the streams. You know, fingers crossed that that doesn't happen again today. So we did some in the Discord. So if you want to get involved, head over to the Discord. The link is in the description. We have a bot there that allows you to assign interest roles, self-assign interest roles, and we have a role for Pkwak. So whenever someone has, whenever there's an event involving Pkwak, we just at the whole Pkwak interest group, and then we head into voice chat and do it there. So that's how this happened. And yes, a link is in the description. Goodness gracious, gotta stay hydrated, especially now. All right, so that's that. We've got some stuff for phonology, which we haven't ported over to this document yet. Oops. This is a beautiful desk, but it is one of these kind of like 1950s metal desks that you see in, or maybe 1940s or something. And if I touch it the wrong way, it just clangs. Isaac, what is Pkwak? Pkwak is a conlang that we've been working on together over the past several months, I guess now. And we're in the process of building it up to be a language that we can not only use with each other, but we can use to teach to people outside the community and welcome them in. So that's the idea behind this Teach Yourself Pkwak course. So we're going to be working on a bit of the grammar today, but just a bit of introduction first. We've worked out the personal pronouns, so this is done. We've worked out the some aspect of the tense and mood. So we have a past tense and a future tense. These are optional. La for the past, she for the future. This rs for those who are new is indicates a retroflex. So r before a consonant indicates that's a retroflex. So you can say, for example, let me see if I can come up with a. Let's find a good verb. Let's find a good verb here. Akit. Akit, to think. So, if you want to say I thought, you would say ha'a la akit. Ha la akit. Got something cut in my throat. And if you want to say I will think, you'd say ha she akit. Pretty cool. Or you could just say ha akit, I think, and you could leave it unspecified for tense. I had a banana chip before coming on stream, and I think that was probably a poor choice. Have you ever tried these? It's banana. It's a plantain, really. It's a plantain chip. I'm a fiend for plantains. If you put plantains in a stew, you would just be my hero. All right. The she criticize in the koine. I think we can say that it does. A word like a little guy like she. I'd be surprised if it didn't criticize. All right, so we have two moods. We have the, excuse me, I'm going to just cough for a second. Goodness gracious. So, yeah, plantain chips, poor choice. We have two moods here. We have the imperative su, which has this s allomorph, this proclitic s allomorph. And then we have do, the hortative marker. So I'll just write these out in full. Maybe I should make this a bit bigger too, just to be friendly on everyone's eyes. Whoops, that's Latin. That's Latin grammar right there. That's not today's topic. You got to be very careful with how you click the trackpad. All right, so back here we are. So we can say it has an allomorph, and this didn't do it. Has an allomorph of s before vowel initial words. I think this is what the chat is getting at. So su, maybe we can just write it like this. And I would be shocked if do didn't do the same thing. So I can just write this like so. We might write this maybe as apostrophe and then the apostrophe before vowel initial words. Super. And if while we're doing that, we could do the same thing here. So instead of ha, la, akit, we could have halakit. Yeah. Yeah, Ship, you're right. I'm just a bit behind you in the chat there. So that's good. Moving on. What else do we have here? Verbal morphosyntax. So we have two copulae. This is something that we decided a few weeks ago in our little Pkwak working group on Discord, because we had seen the usages in different dialects of different copulae, and we came up with a way of using two of them. One is the null copula, so just not literally nothing, and then the copula seu, which comes from the verb oseu, to lie or to be located. And this copula is used for what are called stage level predicates. And if an easy way to understand this, if you know Spanish, I guess, or Portuguese, I'll use the Spanish example. The difference between ser and estar is the same as the difference between null copula and seu. If you are not familiar with that, this is probably gobbledygook, so I can explain it. We have two different types of predicates. Maybe I'll come to the full screen to explain this. We have two different types of predicates in, well, we can distinguish between two different types of predicates: stage level predicates and individual level predicates. And these are kind of bad names, I think, for making them clear. But what it means is a stage level predicate is something that is true or not true of an individual at a stage in their existence. So things like being tired, being hungry are common ones. Being bored. So these are stage level predicates, and in languages that distinguish between the two kinds morphologically, they get some sort of a distinctive marker, such as the copula estar in Spanish, or seu in Pkwak. An individual level predicate, on the other hand, is something that is true or not true about an individual as an individual. So something like being a what's a good example? Being a good person, being a boring person. Things that are conceived of as not stages that you move in and out of. So that's that individual versus stage level predicate distinction that we're going to be using in Pkwak. So back to the side webcam. Right. Oh. And yes, 77 Drymaldi. Sorry, is that the pronunciation? It does. It is reminiscent of French, where there's this prohibition on vowel-vowel combinations in some instances, and so that vowel-vowel combination, this is called hiatus, and it is dispreferred cross-linguistically, and certain languages do some will stick at a consonant in between the two vowels to solve that problem. This is called a penthesis. And there are other languages that will delete one of the vowels to solve the problem, deletion. And that is what that's the strategy we're using in Pkwak, and that is the strategy that they use in French. Right. Oh. Okay. So we have these two copulae, and let's come up with some example sentences, because this is a bit abstract. You never like abstractness, do you? Well, if you're a linguist, you probably do. But even so, it taxes the brain a bit. So let's come up with some good predicates that we can use here. Okay, tall. Mu or mui, we have this doublet. So if you wanted to say, well, actually we have verby adjective, so let's not use an adjective. Let's use a tall person. Suit mu. Ha suit mu. Don't autocorrect on me. I am a tall person. So this is first person singular. Ha suit. Let's put in the explicit negative null copula. Suit person tall. I am a tall person. How about that? Just looking at the chat. Oh, shit. Can we have do to dua between vowels because it comes from dua? Yeah, I like that. That's good. Excellent. Raven nationality is a good one for an individual level predicate. And I'm seeing, Taga, you're saying it's hard to hear me. Maybe I can adjust the volume a bit. But is it hard to hear the elephant? Could you hear it? The ice cream elephant. It's back. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So, here is an example of an individual level predicate. I am a tall person. And let's see what else we could do. Is there? Did I miss? Yeah. Perfect. Let's see if we can find a stage level predicate in our dictionary. Let's see. Well, location is a good stage level predicate because we typically go between different locations over the course of our lives. So let's see, let's use this oba word, and let's say I am at my house. Ha seu be oba. And maybe if we're serious about this hiatus resolution, I don't know if we're going to necessarily write it, but let's write it for now. First person singular, copula, seu, because this is a stage level predicate. Locative, we'll put in the clitic marker here. House. I'm at home. Nope. There we go. So here we have the copula seu is used for stage level predicates. The null copula is used for individual level predicates. There we go. Logan, go full Russian and write but as an independent word with no vowel. That's kind of cool. But oba. That's great. Yeah. We'll have to make a decision on this before we launch the course, but for now, I don't know what this is in reference to. This is what happens when you just write things down willy-nilly. So I'll just move that somewhere else because honestly, who knows? Okay, let's just continue our review and then we'll get on to valency. Right. Oh, no, we're at valency already. Okay, so I did a little bit of thinking about this. This is purely just me the other day wondering. So if you go into the book describing morphosyntax, which is a great manual for documentation and for conlanging as well, we can distinguish between three types of causatives, and I think Pkwak should have all three. So, one, lexical causatives. These are pairs of verbs like eat and feed, die and kill, where there is a logical relationship whereby one member is like a causative version of another, although they're not related. So they are, in a sense, suppletive, if you want to think of them as causative pairs. And I'm just checking the chat. Yes, SVO, Quain's got it right, and Jack's got it right. Everyone's got it right. Yeah, ship, fall versus fell is another good example of a lexical causative, although you can see the remnants of a morphological causative there. Rise and raise, same deal there. Jack is right. Okay, so those lexical causatives, those will be limited, and we'll just have to come up with the ones that we want. We'll use those for a very few pairs. Maybe we can have them derived from an earlier morphological causative. That could be fun. The next kind is a morphological causative, and we have already in our grammar a suffix tam, which works for this. So this is great. We have a protective causative suffix. We'll come back to that in a second. The third type is a syntactic causative, which we also have in our corpus, which uses the same morpheme tam, but as an independent verb. So we'll make some example sentences for these, but the idea behind contrasting these three is that cross-linguistically it's common that there's this idea of a degree of, or a direct versus indirect causation. So let's think about it in this way. I'm going to just come back to the full screen webcam so I can have a fireside chat. So lexical causatives are typically express very direct causation. Think of this. Kill. To kill someone is different from to cause them to die. When you kill someone, you're typically physically present. Typically, the person who is undergoing the dying has no choice in the matter. Whereas with these less direct causatives that are expressed either morphologically or especially syntactically, you open things up to readings like I made him die. This is a very morbid example, I apologize, but you bring about the circumstances under which he dies, but you don't necessarily kill him. So we can contrast this kind of direct and indirect causation. And typically the more tightly packed the causative and the verb root, the causative morpheme and the verb root are, the more direct the causation. So with lexical causatives, the two are the same thing. They're bundled together, so you get very direct causation. With syntactic causatives, they're in completely different words, so you get this less direct causation. And I think that's the thing that we want to do in Pkwak. So we have these three types of causatives, and they're all up for grabs. Another restriction, oops, I'll come back to the, yeah, it's true. The examples in linguistics are often morbid because, especially for things like transitivity. So things around valency tend to be morbid because the most canonically transitive thing is basically violence. Doing violence to someone where the object is affected. Yeah, it's not good, but it's the easiest thing that comes to mind. And when you have other transitive, verbs, you run the risk of getting involved with psych verbs, which are different. So verbs of perception, things like that, which can mess things up. So verbs of violence are usually, are usually the go-to examples for transitivity. And Jack saying that you rarely conceive of kill as the causative of die. And in this you are joined by many linguists, and actually there's been a big debate in the generative grammar world about whether kill is die plus cause. And this goes back to like the 60s, and it's still a thing that people argue about. So you're not alone. Right. Yeah, Ship's got a better example. I grow the flower versus I made the flower grow. All right, so I highlighted this animate causers thing because this is another thing that comes up in the Describing Morphosyntax book, which is that syntactic causatives, being indirect, are usually available for only animate causers. So the causer of this action should be an animate reference. So with the syntactic causatives, it's often the case. I'm sorry, I'm explaining this badly. It's often the case that the constructions are limited to co-occurring with animate causers, and I just am importing that to give a little bit of real-world flavor. All right, so let's get some examples, because yikes. So I'm going to look in our mega vocabulary overview, and we are going to see if anyone has already come up with 2 examples. So we have eat. We have eat, ngwa, are words. Do we have feed? We do not. Okay. Do we have, let's look at grow. We don't have, do we have cultivate? We may not have any of these that have been made. If any Pkwakists in the chat can think of a pair that already exists that is a lexical causative pair, please do let me know. I'm going to just scoot back to the full screen webcam because I hear that there's buffering. We'll see. I'm going to check in with Lucy. Not seeing anything in the chat, so always a question as to whether it's working. Or maybe it's just the donkey being there we go. Okay, we're all back now. Hello all. Yeah, this room seems to be much better for some reason. I don't know if there's like lead in the walls in that other one. All right. Back to the group. All right. Wow. Okay, lots of stuff came in. No, yeah, Echo, you're right. YouTube chat, there's something wrong with it. I don't know on whose end it is. I don't think it's on our end. I think it might be Streamlabs or YouTube. But it's been doing this for a few weeks now, so we should probably invest some energy into figuring out why, because it doesn't seem to be resolving itself. Apollo, welcome. Yeah, we're doing morphosyntax. All right. Okay, so back. Let's see if we can maybe show and see, ka, and show, tamka. Oh. They're all transparently derived. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Echo, we need to figure this out. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a hectic season, so I haven't taken the time to raise an issue with Streamlabs or go as a supplicant to YouTube. But we will prioritize that for the next time, because it is annoying. Okay, so I don't think we have anything in the corpus, so let's just derive something, shall we? So let's get the Pkwak sound changes up. By the way, I've been enjoying Lexember a great deal, and one thing that I've been enjoying doing is taking words from pre-Pkwak languages and borrowing them into Pkwak, or taking words from related languages to Pkwak and adopting them at an earlier stage and then running them through half of Pkwak sound changes. That's been quite fun. All right, so let's come up with a. Oh, did we check die kill? Who da? We have das. Yeah, we just have. This is our morphological or our syntactic causative and our morphological causative right here, so we can see the whole paradigm. Let's come up with a root for to kill. And apologies for the morbid topic, but this is just a really clear example, and it's one that you often see expressed with this lexical causative. Okay, so let's come up with a new root back to. So we need a root for to kill. This has got to be a very dark sounding word. Let's take a few examples and see what we get. So let's take clear. Remind me not to aspirate. Clear. Let's take blog. Because if you blog about something, you're killing your readers. I don't know. Or because someone killed blogging. These are the mnemonics that you can use. And let's see, what else do we have? Most of these long ones have been used already. Ooh, I'm seeing some good things. Quain, slay. Let's see what we got. Mrur, Emily, thank you. Ratit, Munar. Okay, I'll stop there and we'll see what we get. All right. Tuir, Pwag, Sway, Mur, Atit, Muar. I'm kind of liking Sway. I think that's good, and it's sufficiently disguised that we don't have to feel bad about it. So let's put Sway in. Let's put Sway into the dictionary. By the way, the dictionary is coming along really well. Thanks to everyone who's contributed so far. So we have Swa and we have Sway. And the other suggestions we will use as different roots. And we might have slay mean something else that will lead us to kill. So it's not too obvious. We're covering our tracks. All right. Mad, yeah, take more. That's a good one. And this gives us sway. Perfect. And honestly, let's just get all of these in here. Hydrate. Where's Rose? Right, okay, continuing. So we've got sway in our dictionary. Sway from slay, meaning not sure yet. Actually, let's see if we can look in Wiktionary. I really like doing this. Let's find a word meaning to kill and see what its etymology is. All right, so here's one. Neco in Latin, which comes from a root meaning perish or disappear. And that's fine. We could use something like that. So slay meaning disappear. And then it just gets zero derived into a causative in Proto-Socrat, and then Bob's your uncle. Right, so let's say slay is disappear. And this is how we get a little bit more interest in the etymologies. And I'm just going to not worry about the formal definition here for now, just so we don't slow down. And ammazzare from mazza, club. That's awesome. I mean, that's terrible. And let's come up with a good example sentence. Tarsusweha. Don't kill me. Okay, this is looking pretty cool. Pretty good. Okay, so back to our causatives. We'll finish causatives and then we'll put in a little break. So we have, oh, and what was the word for to die? It was das, right? Yeah. So let's go up and put that in. It's our first da word. And this, I believe, comes from Proto-Socrat dras. And it can mean to die. It can also mean, how do we do the multiple? Sorry, I have to look something up here. Just a second. Oh yeah, 1, 2. Apologies. 1, 2. Oops. Okay. Good. Das. Das was the adjective dead originally? Ah, interesting, okay. So let's say dead, and we'll call this an adjective. Definition, great. And then we have hudas, right? To die, to have death. This is the unglamorous work of lexicography here. Is that right? We have hudas? Yeah. Good. Yeah, Pkwak is in a weird state where it's becoming less and less. Like Proto-Sakrat is very, very flexible in terms of word class. Sakrat is getting less and less so. A lot of the other dialects just have das as die. So let's say S, let's cite this as coming from the S dialect. And let's put in that we can also have just das as die. So verb, and so this should be verb as well. And the dialects that have it M, E, M, E. Okay, right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so then we have these two. So we have das and sway. An example of a lexical causative is the pair of verbs who, das, and sway. Great. Oh, Taka. Every lazy political satirist in the Pkwak is going to make a dasmu joke when something bad happens in drasmu. That's amazing. So for those who haven't seen this before, Drasmu is the name of a city, correct? Das, very close. Super. Okay, so then let's take a look at morphological causatives. Here we have some more options, so we don't have to be so morbid. We could have ka to see. Oops. And katam. To make someone see. Let's come up with an example. So ha, ka. I see. What do I see? Let's go back to the dictionary. See if I see a rock. Cool. Haka quote. Nope. First person singular. See rock. I see a rock. Lovely. And then okay, so then we have to see how we're going to mark the ha, katam, something. First person singular, C, cause. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to put in a little break here. I was going to wait until the end of the causative stuff, but I think this is getting a bit longer than I had expected. And we have to make some decisions about this. So let's put in a break here. Apologies for those who'd like their segments completely neat. But we will be right back. And thank you, YouTube, for joining us once again. We will see you soon. We will finish off this causative business and have a jolly good time. Until then. Okay. It's so weird I see myself up there and then. Chat, how is everything going? How the heck are you? We are enjoying the sweltering weather here. It's actually not that bad, but because I can't have the doors open because everything's super loud. Yeah, it gets a bit stuffy and I end up schwitzing like a wilde chaya. But there we go. We are going to make some decisions about these causatives soon. Jack asks, can you apply the tam causative suffix to an already transitive verb? If so, we're going to need to do something about that. We're going to figure out where the third argument will go. All right, the donkey just brought some more stuff from the chat. Hakatam ga kot. Hakatam kot bega. Yeah, let's jump back in and work on that. Before we do, Emily Autumn asks if there will be a stream showcasing the Pkwak languages. Indeed, there will be, but I would not dream of doing such a thing until I am back in my studio. So look for that in February. I think people are also still hard at work on them. So, but rest assured, we will definitely be exploring them. We'll do a showcase. I don't know exactly logistically how we'll handle it. If we want to have people submit things or just have me leaf through them, I don't know. But we'll talk on Discord about that. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've been enjoying all of the Pkwak entries in Lexember. They have been really helping my Lexember, which is behind. Yeah, I've already taken a few words, borrowed a few words from Pkwaks. You can see here we have Oba. Oba comes from a Pkwak. Comes from hut in, now I don't know exactly the pronunciation of this, but I'm assuming something like Jean or John or Jan. J is always the hardest thing to pronounce, to know how to pronounce. And we have the word Oba hut, and I've taken it into Pkwak as originally a hut, but then it gets turned into a word for house, and especially used in this sort of humble fashion. Yes. Jan? Ah, very cool, very cool. All right, so we continue. Oh, Jack, is the Pkwak language submission still open? I mean, from my perspective, it is. I'm not going to do anything official about Pkwak until February, so from my perspective, work away, at least until then, and then frankly even beyond that. But I know that other people in the community have their own timelines for things, so check on the Discord in the community collab channel for that info. Right. Okay, back to YouTube. We are going to, oh, before we do that, I'm going to just take some of these sentences from the chat, and we're going to use them in our, that's Quains. and matches is here. Okay, we will use these as example sentences. Onwards. Welcome back, YouTube. We are working on Pkwak morphosyntax. Specifically, we are working on valency, and even more specifically, if we can get more specific than that, we are working on causatives. So I think that's enough introduction. Let's jump back in, shall we? Ooh, there we go. Got a slouch to fit in the camera. Side webcam. Boom. Okay. So we have these three types of causatives. If you don't know what those are, check out the previous video. We're working on the morphological causatives. We have the suffix tam. Yes, to make someone see, to show. All right, so how are we going to handle this? Hakatam, something quote. Let's take, before we handle that, let's look at Quain's suggestion of pulling an English. Pulling an English. So we have a few personal pronouns here. We have ha and ga for those playing along at home. So let's gloss these. First person singular, see, cause. Second person singular, rock. So I make you see a rock. It's like this sentence. Wow, this is English. Ha katam quote bega. I see cause rock locative you. So by make you see, we can translate this as show. So this is really quite exactly like English. I show you rock. And the other example, I show a rock to you. Boom. Pkwak is the English of the BDI verse. Jack you've been using the be to add additional arguments to verbs. Yeah, I think that's a general strategy that I think be is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for us. Logan, interesting. So a double object construction in Feng Bei can occur in either order. You just have to sort of figure it out. Interesting. 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 Okay. All right. Let's put in some possibilities here. So, does this ever happen to you, chat, when you got too many ideas happening at once and your brain just sort of slows to a halt? That's what's happening to me right now. We have too many possibilities. Yeah, I'm going to write down possibilities. 1, English style double object constructions. Second possibility, Feng Bei, is that the spelling? Yes. style double object constructions. Which would be either one cool. You assume the more animate one is the causative. If you want to distinguish, or if you want to, so either order is possible. You assume the more animate one is the causative. If you want to make the less animate one the causative, you can mark the causative with B. Yeah, I like where we're going with this. I think either 1 or 2 will work. We can discuss it in Discord, but I think we've got the outline of it sorted. Then let's look at the syntactic causatives. So here we have, let's just use the same example. So I show you a rock. Hatam ga kakwo. I make it so that you see a rock. I bring about the situation such that you see a rock. And there we go. That one works pretty well. Logan, yeah. So we are going to be doing object demotion soon, and I think B is exactly what we're going to use for it. Okay. Oh, this all works really nicely together. All right, so causative's done for now. What's next? Look, we talked about object demotion. Let's do this. So basically, when you want, is this really the best thing to do now? Basically, I'm sorry, I'm catching up with the chat. Right. Okay, so I'm going to go down. Drixarkar is hakatam begakwo, grammatical. Hakatam begakwo. I'm thinking if we adopt option 1, no. If we adopt option 2, maybe. And Dylan, yeah, so I think the generalization about the directness of the causation with respect to the lexical causatives is a generalization. So I fed them but they didn't eat. I killed them but they didn't die. There is, I think, a distinction to be made there that this simple rubric doesn't take into account. Inalienable causation. Yes, that is a good term. Okay, so let's look at object demotion because I think we're coming around this. So when we want to increase some distance between the verb and the object, I don't know, I'm going to talk about this in very vague terms, by signaling that the object was not affected maybe by the action, we can demote the object by putting it into a prepositional phrase using be. So I think something like hatam, no sorry, haka be wo. First person singular, C, locative, rock. This might mean I looked at the rock, but I didn't fully see it, or oh yeah, okay, the donkey just came in with the chat. Let's do another example because C is not really a great verb for this. Let's go back to our dictionary. Let's use our kill verb, sway. Ha sway be. Let's find something. Let's find something that we can use. It's not just a pronoun. Okay, let's use skamnis. Our legendary conqueror. So haswebe skamnis. First person singular, kill, lock, skamnis. If you don't know who skamnis is, I don't know exactly what what video to send you to, but he's a kind of an Alexander the Great figure. So I kind of think of this like at in English. Like instead of saying I shot someone, I shot at someone. So really it's very, very, very analogous. Haswe beskamnis. So I tried to kill skamnis. Just gonna pass in there. So the be is showing that the object was unaffected, or it's leaving it open whether the object was unaffected. Is Pkwak slowly becoming English Relax? Yes. But in a way that feels just like games. Halaswe beskamnis. Halaswe beskamnis. And of course, in the Koine, it would be kamnis, but because it's a person's name. So we'll explain this by saying to indicate that the object was not necessarily affected by the action of a transitive verb, or to mark other such as unimportance of the object, or to make lexical contrasts. So we're just going to have some verbs that take be. Certain arbitrary lexical contrasts. the object is marked with the locative preposition be. Yeah. Such as the unimportance of the object, to insult the referent of the object. I like that. Be is such a workhorse in this language. So this is a tool that we're giving our future selves to make some fun distinctions in Pkwak. I'm going to hydrate 1 second. All right. Okay. I just did a marathon throat clearing session there. I love this idea about that Sparsh just mentioned that be could also mean incomplete action, like the French de in its partitive meaning. So if you said I read a book, I read be a book, it indicates that lack of completion of the action. That's really cool. Be can do all things. So be has to be a thing, like Sparsh says, that learners of Pkwak really pay attention to. It's like you're in your Pkwak lesson and there's like this one unit on be. All right. And be is also our generic locative preposition. Fun. While we're on the topic of be, let's build out its locative uses, just because I see it here. So we're going to use relational nouns a la Mayan we're going to have be as our generic locative, and then if you want to specify on, in, behind, we'll use body parts. So, and because genitives, the possessors, come after the noun, the be and the body part can start to fuse. I'll show you what I mean. So we have word for head. Dud is used for head colloquially. I don't know if we want to use the colloquial one. Sut opuit, the flower of the person. Well, let's use dud because it's short and not 3 syllables. So bedud, on, over. Literally locative plus head. And then we can just keep going with these be's. Foot. We have pkao, which means end, which works. Pkao. Dude. Swot as brow. Okay, beswot. So bepkao could mean under, or it could mean beyond, since it comes from this meaning edge, which can mean foot as well as edge. Block, foot or extremity. Beswot, bepte. Block heart inside. Block brow. Is it brow? And Logan, I love that suggestion. Bekang. lock place to emphasize the locative nature. To disambiguate true locative be from other uses. Bekang, betip, beswot, bepkau, bedud. Emily, and before behind actually becomes a word. Yeah. So before. I mean, beswot. We're getting. This is interesting because we're approaching English, having started from a very non-English position. I don't know. I feel like that doesn't count as a relax in the bad sense. In front of before. Inside. Bemtu. Ooh, from back. So this is a lock plus back from umeti. Cool. I like this. Let's see. Good. Okay. Delightful. All right. So that's good. If anyone comes up with any other body parts that can turn into prepositions, let me know. Otherwise, we will move on. Let's talk, while we're on the topic of be, datives of interest. So datives of interest are ways, are constructions in which you use something like a dative to indicate a noun that has a kind of unspecified relationship with the rest of the participants, and you get things like, I'm going to gloss this into English, but the glass fell to me. So what's the relationship of me with the glass falling? I'm affected in some way. I have some sort of an interest in the situation. In English, we sometimes use on me for this construction. So the glass fell on me. It didn't literally fall on me, but it fell, and I'm unfortunately affected by the fact that the glass fell. So I think datives of interest would be fun to have in Pkwak. Although I don't know if we need to actually mark them with be like everything else. We could just basically put them into. We could just front them, and then that would probably be enough. Popwi. Ah, okay, I'm going to add that one first. I like that distinction. Biptit versus popwi. Cool. Okay. So let's come up with an example of one of these datives of interest. Do we have fall? We don't. Well, let's make up a fall then, shall we? Let's see. Can we use one of these? Tiger, don't die on me. Exactly. Oh, bengues. From skin. Ooh, I like that. Sorry, I'm going to just skip back and put that in. Quain, nom. Ah, so to use goes to from use to an instrumental to this kind of dative of interest marker. Yeah, let's see. Let's get a sentence so that we can see how it feels. Let's give ourselves a word fall. And I'm not feeling fall for any of these. So let's go back and find some more. What do we have here? I see plaid, clar. I think I have a prejudice against these CVs, so let's put some of them in. What happened? There we go. Ri, de. See what we get. Quad, quar. I can see quar as being fall. Yeah, let's use it. So clar. Where did? Ah, yeah. Quar, fall. And do we have something? I don't know. What do we have? We don't have a glass, do we? No. Don't have a cup. Is there anything, any kind of object that we wouldn't want to fall? I'm trying to see. I'm trying to find a concrete object. Where is this? We don't have a lot of these concrete objects, do we? Oh, we have a word for food. That would work. Where is it? Pangwa. Sorry for all this scrolling. So here we have food, fall. But I don't want to say on me. A bear, a tree. Well, we got food. Unfortunately, the donkey was too slow for me to see your suggestions. Right, and then the question is, how are we going to handle this? So here's some options. I'm going to put some options together, and you tell me what you like better. So the food fell, locative, first person singular. Food fell, instrumental, first person singular. First person singular, just fronted. So as for me, the food fell. One of these. Or fronting either the nom or the be. Okay, chat, what do we think? I'm going to wait for the donkey to deliver the messages. I'm going to take this scoop tree. Is this one we already have? Ah, it is. And while we wait for the donkey, let's go back to the full screen webcam. And I'll just sit here placidly. Ah, donkey, you're back. All right. Okay, let's go back and see what we've got. So Jack says, how about a relative marker before ha with the third idea? A relative marker before ha. Would that be something like, what is me? That which is me, the food fell? Oh, and sa as well. Sa, face. Looks like we've got lots of diversity of usages here. She is two. So that would be, again, very, very close to the English. To me, usage. Okay, so let's explore these two options, the nom options, because I'm seeing several people in the chat say they like them, and Quayne has brought up an interesting distinction that we could make. So the nom ha, so we can nom ha pangwa kwar. So it has to be fronted in order to get this reading of the dative of interest. Contrast with in situ the food fell because of me. Yeah, I like that. Nom ha. Noma pangwakwar. That's cool. Okay, I think we're good with that. I'm going to take this opportunity to put another break. So going back to the full screen webcam, YouTube, thank you for joining us. We've had some fun talking about datives of interest and related topics and turning Pkwak into English 2.0. What can I say? We have fun. We have fun. But come back next time and we will continue and do more of the same, because don't change horses midstream, right? See you next time. Great. Great. Chat, how are we doing today? This is not as bad as I had thought it was going to be in terms of heat. It is still a bit hot, but we're hanging in there. We're doing the work. What are we going to do next? We're going to talk about reflexive, reciprocals, and detransitive constructions and passives. And I think we'll actually get through everything we set out to, which is a novelty among us. Wait for the donkey to deliver the mail. Let's see what the good people of chat are saying. Maud, you like the birds? Yeah, these are nice titi. As for me, I hate locative you. What would that be? What's hate? Oh, we don't have hate. Okay, we have to make hate. Okay, we'll do that first. As for me, I hate you. This could be the title of one of the lessons in Teach Yourself Pkwak. Ooh, Jack, question about how to deal with verbs from verbalized nouns. Yeah. Ooh, so going from verb to noun to verb again. So let's see if we can come up with an example of that. We have what do we have? Maybe something that starts with pa. So we have kam, blessing, to bless. No, that's just a... Well, actually, I don't know, Jack. Do you mean like even zero-derived verbal nouns? Because we have kam, which means to bless, and also a blessing. And then we could do something like kam sha. Pull it Irish and make it a weird locative? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's go back in. YouTube, we're going back in. We're doing a bunch of Pkwak morphosyntax stuff. Just get in. Let's do this. All right, so we need to come up with a word, a way to say, as for me, I hate you. So we're going to use our new nom construction. As for me, and then we have to, let's use something like hatred is upon me. Hatred is upon me for you, something like that. Nomha gaseutar nranbeha. All right, let's translate Queen's sentence. As for me, you, copula, negative, good, locative, on singular. So technically, we have as for me, you are not good by me in my books. I don't know how to translate this semi-literally. You are not good at me, but it means so like from my perspective, I don't like you. I'm unhappy and it is your doing. Attack, hate. So another Pkwak way of making enemies. Nom ha attack beha. I hate you. Nomha attack beha. How could we say this is an English relax? We have like a bunch of things from Spanish too, and Irish. See? It's fun. Okay. I gotta put in this attack, because that's new today. Ship, what language does atag come from? So I can put in the etymology. Okay. Well, we'll fill that out later when the donkey comes back with the messages. In the meantime, let's talk about oh yeah, there should be bega. You are right. Let's say it's umeti, because we don't have enough umeti in this language. So okay. Let's get back to the passives. It's time. So we already have some passives in the corpus. Let's look it up. So we have our pa, verb, which etymologically means receive. So we have a passive marker here. And then we also have the malefactive passive, da, which comes from to suffer. So this is basically the same, but it means it has this added connotation that it's a bad thing. So let's make some examples. We need a good I want to use something like eat, moi. I eat the rice. Sunyao. Hanwa sunyao. And then let's passivize it. Oh, okay, I'll fix that then. It has to be atak in umeti. So then we have sunyao pa wa be ha. So this would be a classic passive. So let's gloss it so that everyone's on the same page. First person singular, eat rice. We also have another word for rice up above, but we can look at that later. And then rice, I guess technically is eaten by me. I don't know what's going on here. Rice, passive, eat, locative, one singular. So we have another use of our favorite locative marker, be. Sunyao pangwa beha. Sunyao pangwa beha. I'm catching up on the chat. Donkey just brought everything. Do we need an object for further reasons, or can we just have an indefinite subject pronoun? I like the idea of an indefinite subject pronoun, given how generally pro-drop Pkwak is. Sunyao pangwa beha. So we could do something like Mwa sunyao. Oh. Excuse me. Yep. One sec, I'll be right back. Yeah, that was wild. Okay, we're back. Okay, I see some really cool suggestions about passives. Let's take a look. So if we just do the basic passive, we have this construction, Sunya pangwa beha. Or, Logan's suggestion, just eat rice. So we just have a null subject here, eat rice, kind of like an impersonal thing. So this is our option 1. This is our option 2. And we don't have to choose exclusively one of these, but, and our option 3 is going to be, that rhymed. Our option 3 is going to be this really cool suggestion from, where was it? Taga, yes. So it receives the rice receives your eating. So that would be, well, or my eating in this case. So rice, passive, eat, 1 as singular. 1 SG, the rice is eaten by me. Rice receives my eating. These are cool. Okay. Much, thank you. All right. And Jack's saying, oh, use the alphabet marker ra. So we can stop using be for everything. That could be fun. I know, it's tough. We got a few good options here. Some pretty good options. I'm kind of partial to this one. Sunyao pangwaha. Although this seems like something that would work really well in birai. Given its general flavor of being like the language that loves nominalization. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Is chat actually working on screen? This is perfect. Okay, so we have 2 plus 3 then. So no true passive. No true passive, just impersonal. And yeah, inverse voice. That's cool. Hello, YouTube. Yeah, okay, let's do this. So we don't have a true passive. No true passive. Passive-like constructions are the impersonal and the inverse construction. Oh, teamwork! Thank you, everyone. And we can also have the malefactive passive. So 2 options. The rice is eaten by me. Sunyao pa waha. The rice is eaten by me. Or sunyao tang waha. The rice is eaten by me and it's a bad thing. Righteous. Okay. Cool. So we have this. Get everything nice and organized. There we go. And then our last thing, and then I think we're actually going to finish our agenda for once. Knock on wood. Reflexive, reciprocals, and detransitive constructions. I think probably we can just talk about reflexives and reciprocals because we have our object demotion, which will turn things into yeah, I don't know if I want to make that connection, but nevertheless. The rice gets eaten by me. Yeah, exactly. Well, we've already got canonically a reciprocal, so, but I think what we can do is consider them like, consider them something like adverbs, something like mutually, rather than being marked as a pronoun. So we have donyap, which is our canonical reciprocal. And we don't have a reflexive yet. And I was thinking we could do something like, I think Quain just suggested self, maybe something like body, like one's own body, and we could fossilize it to be the third person singular. So something like, do we have body? I love this because everyone's done so much great work on this. Suit. Okay, suit is a person. Yeah, okay, so we could just use suit. Maybe something like, and remind me of our, yeah, suit ya. That could work. His body, her body, the reflexive. These are adverbs. Looks like some people have already worked on this. Conflate reflexives and reciprocals. We could. Oh, niece already exists already? Okay, so let's... These are syntactically adverbs. Mutually, reflexively. Okay. Or maybe it doesn't have to be so closed. Maybe we can use all of these, like we can use shoka, nis, shoka, depending on the dialect, and then in the koine, it's anyone's guess. Yeah, I think that's pretty... That's not that interesting, sadly, but it is, I think, workable. So let's see if we can figure out an example sentence. Going back to our... So let's find some animate subject. We have like a priest, or we haven't talked a lot about religion beyond that one time, so... But we have this bless word. Let's see, I'm just sort of using randomness to find something interesting. We need a... Okay, ka, sailor. So I think our... yeah, where did we put the adverbs? That's a good question. Where did I... Hold on, I need to look this up. I've forgotten. I have forgotten, so I'm going to go into Discord because I put an example sentence in the Lexember. I put it... Oh, I used a very interesting example, so I'll show you. I will show you. So this is the example sentence I used, which is a complex predicate. Hu Bruce, to love. So I put Donyap in between Hu and Bruce, so this is kind of tough. I really love this gloss. So I think then it would go after the verb and before the object, but does that comport with the rest of the things we know about Pkwak syntax? Good question. Good question. Hanran benis, nisran beha. Maj, we're playing all your favorites here. So literally this would be, we have mutually love. And then we could do something like this. Hanhu shoka brus. We love ourselves. but you don't. Yeah, I think, Jack, you're right that we should be thinking in the direction of verb adjective. The question is it object, verb object adjective, oh sorry, adverb, verb adverb, but is it verb adverb object or verb object adverb? That's the question. And I'm thinking verb adverb object, which would indicate that the verb raises. But I'm wondering if I have thought that completely through. So, you know, this I think works pretty well. Why do we have to put who there? Why does it have love? It's just one of these sort of complex compound predicates where you have a verb and a noun to express the whole predicate. You need both. Yeah, I don't know if there's a particularly deep reason. It originates from a verb phrase and then just gets lexicalized as having this particular meaning. To love, literally, etymologically, it's have full. So you have fullness. It's a feeling of love. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, goodness gracious, look at the time. We are at our limit of fun and games for the day. So I'm going to just congratulate us all that we actually achieved our goals and we got through everything. And we've got a lot of good stuff for Teach Yourself Pkwak. We are working our way through our grammar, and we've made some good decisions today. So thank you all. Thank you for your contributions. This has been wonderful. I'm going to just come back and say goodbye to YouTube before moving on. If I can find my mouse. There we go. YouTube, thank you so much. This has been a joy. Please do come back, and we will do quite a bit more. Until then. And chat. Thank you. Unfortunately, we still have this delay with the chat, but fortunately, Manice has smiled upon us and given us pretty good stream quality. I haven't died from heat, from overheating, so I think that's a win. So thank you all so much for joining us again. This makes me more optimistic that we'll be able to do more streams while I'm in Peru. So, with that said, Manice kam. Brung to you all. Brung began. Thank you all. And we will see you again on the Discord, of course, but we will see you back here. I'm not totally ready to say 100% next week, but because I want to make sure that this chat thing works out. But join the Discord. You will know as soon as I know when there will be a stream next, but most likely next week. All right, I've yammered on enough. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.